Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. So in Australia, there have been protests in Melbourne for the last few days. I'm sure you've seen the clips. The police retreating in some areas, some footage of police using rubber bullets, I believe yesterday. And what kickstarted this more intensive protesting was the construction workers being told they had to get the jab, being threatened with get the jab or you're not going to be able to do your job. And understandably, they don't want their employer dictating to them whether or not they have an injection. So things have been hard and heavy in Australia. And then yesterday, there was an earthquake in Melbourne as well, which is a rare happening from what I've been told. It seemed a bit of a coincidence that happening when all of these protests were going on. Anyhow, the news today is that the police in Australia, in Queensland, have now been told they all have to get the jab. And if they don't, they will be suspended without pay. And they have to do it in the next 2 weeks. So the outcome of this is going to be interesting, is it not? Here's the clip.
Queensland police officers have been issued a blunt ultimatum. Take the jab within 2 weeks or face suspension without pay. The move has outraged some serving and former officers. A new police union is even being contemplated to fight the vaccine mandate.
They're trained to take orders. Hey! But for some men and women in blue, forced vaccinations are something they simply can't stand for.
They're being told within 2 weeks they could be suspended without pay, which is a ridiculous overreach.
The Commissioner emailing from 5 October 2021, an employee who refuses to follow the direction will be provided with 7 days to state why suspension without pay should not be implemented. Phil Notaro was an officer for more than 3 decades. He's well known within the service, having been on the union executive.
I honestly think that the police service could lose up to 10% of their members.
Serving police officers can't speak to media without approval, but they are venting their anger in closed chat groups. Katarina Carroll, you have betrayed and failed your officers and the people of Queensland. The officer the QPS wants me to be right now is not what I signed up for. I live in a state of panic.
See, it's not about being vax or anti-vax, it's about pro-choice.
If they can't show proof they've had at least one COVID jab by the 5th of October, they could be stood down with pay and they'll also be asked to explain why they shouldn't be suspended without pay. This has created backlash, Melissa. Already a GoFundMe page has raised more than $100,000 for potential legal costs in fighting this mandate. Tonight, Melissa, Katarina Carroll is doubling down. She's saying the mandate is a key in preparing for a potential worst case scenario when the country reopens.
Reece, thanks for that update.
The anger is white hot amongst police officers.
Jack Maguire is considering launching a competing union. His group already opposes vaccine mandates for nurses and teachers.
We are experiencing unbelievable growth at the moment of people leaving their unions and coming to join us.
Over an issue on the front line of public debate.
And Ben Murphy joins us in the studio now. And Ben, what have Queensland Police had to say on the issue?
QPS made no one available for interview today. The Commissioner issued a statement saying police are more exposed to COVID-19 than most occupations, and officers have died from the virus around the world, including 90 in the United Kingdom. Katarina Carroll says the mandate is a key part of planning for what may be a worst-case scenario.
So now they're threatening the police in Australia with the same mandate the construction workers have got. Now the shoe is on the other foot. And the same police who were enforcing and attacking tradesmen for protesting this week have now got that same problem coming to them. Now in a perfect world, they would both join together and protest together against these policies and against these mandates and stand up. This is why I keep saying people need to stand up and unite, because these governments, they never do things in one go. It's always in small steps, one step at a time. You know, last week, construction workers, a couple of weeks later, the police, then it'll be whoever next. It's never all done in one go. So yeah, this will be a curious one to watch and see what happens. As always, thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to the tribe at hugotalks.com, a place for like-minded souls who don't follow the fake stream media.